today's eMoney tip of the week, I'm going to run you through some of the most common techniques our team uses inside Decision Center. Now, the last eMoney tip of the week, I ran you through the big four we do for every single client, which is premature death, asset allocation, irregular market, and increased expenses. But I'm going to run you through some of our other common ones we use, which is saving more, retiring at different ages, Social Security at different ages, a disability, and long-term care. So I'm going to go through 5, and I'm going to go through these relatively quick. So let's start out with a plan. For those of you who have been in my eMoney tip of the weeks before, I use Pam and Jim Helpert as our sample clients. We always start out with a base scenario, which we would typically hit add here and do alternatives. We're going to go with alternatives 1 because that's what we used last week, and we're just going to continue to build on this. So we build out these first 4. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to want to save more money. So we're going to go to make changes. There's a couple different ways you can do this, but typically it's going to be in a qualified plan, saving more in an IRA or a 401k. So we're going to hit qualified retirement asset. We're going to click Jim's 401k. This is the most common way we see this done. And we're going to go under here to contributions. And what you can see right now is he is saving 5% and the employer's matching 3%. So we're just going to edit this fact right here. And we're going to go in and maybe change this to 6%. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. Now, really important thing that I typically would say to go ahead and make these changes on everything and then go and rename it. But I want to rename this right away so I don't forget what this is. So I'm going to hit rename. And I'm going to go right in here and I'm going to put save 1% more in Jim's 401k. And now you could repeat that if you wanted to do Pam's 401k. Now when you come back into this a year later or 2 years later, you're going to know what that actually is supposed to represent. When you're in front of a client, you're going to know what you're clicking in. Another way you could do that is you could add a new, all right, and you could do a transfer. And that's one way you could start to transfer money from a bank account into an investment account of some sort. You could also add a new investment account, and that would be somebody opening up an investment account or add a new qualified retirement plan, open up an IRA. There's a lot of ways you can show this. This is the most common ways to increase 401k contributions for a lot of clients we work with. Next, let's talk about retiring at different ages. So we're going to make a change here, and we're going to go to assumptions. And under assumptions, under retirement and death, we're going to click that one, and we're going to go to edit fact. Now you're going to notice this is going to pull up a fact we already had here because we already had showed this client premature death. So if we want to retire at different ages, one of the things we're going to have to do is we're going to have to change this assumed rate of death. Then we're going to have to put the retirement age here. So in their base plan at 65, let's put retiring at 60. And let's do this for both clients. And we're going to hit save. And again, we're going to go and change this name on this really quickly because we already had this as a premature death. So let's go right here and let's put retire at 60. Now you might say, Greg, how am I supposed to show the premature death? That's where if you go to some of the other eMoney tip of the weeks where I would show you, I'm just going to show you real briefly here. This is where we would copy this. All right, we would duplicate this and we would call this premature death. I'm a horrible typer. Pam. And then we would go in and change that around from retirement to the premature death one. So that's one of the times where we use different scenarios. So getting back in this scenario, so now we showed you how to do save more, retire at different ages. One of the other things we want to show in here is going to be Social Security at different ages. So we're going to go to make changes, and we're going to go to Social Security, and we're going to go ahead and edit that fact. So right now you can tell its benefit specifies retirement age amount, benefit begins at full retirement age. How about taking Social Security at 62? And you can build out a bunch of these. I'm just going to do 62 for both of them. We're going to hit save, and we're going to go back here to plan changes and rename this one right away as well so we don't forget. And we're going to go rename and Social Security at 62. Again, if you want to show multiple ages, another way you can do this, once you have the whole plan built out, important to build out the whole plan, that's where you would go here and you would duplicate this and start to build out Social Security at different ages. There is another way to do Social Security. I'm just going to show you real briefly. Is instead of doing advanced techniques, you can go under Decision Center and do base techniques. We don't like these because they don't go through all the reports. but it's a really great way to show Social Security without having to build out a bunch of scenarios, because when you click right here, it's going to build out the Social Security, and you can come right in here and you can edit this really quickly. But again, we don't like to do that for many clients because, quite frankly, these techniques don't flow through to every report. They're designed to do quickly in front of a client, so we really like to be in advanced techniques. You can go back to one of my other eMoney tip of the weeks where I talk about the difference between advanced techniques and techniques, so we really like to stay in advanced techniques. So now I've shown you save more, retire at different ages, and Social Security. I want to show you two more real quick, which is disability. So we do this for all of our clients below the age of 50, so we're going to add new, and we're going to go to a health event here. And we're going to edit the fact. It's going to automatically default in with disability. So we'd want to put disability Pam. It's on Pam Helper. We always like to go 5 years past the client's current age because we don't want somebody seeing that. Same with death. We don't want somebody seeing them getting disabled this year. That can cause emotional trauma for some clients. So we're going to put this at retirement. So typically you're going to show disability at retirement. We don't show any additional expenses. We just leave it there because what it's going to do is it's going to cut off all their income streams. And if they have a disability policy, it's going to implement that disability policy. You click save, and you can easily create one of these for both spouses. So, by the way, excuse me, we want to hit done, not save. So to get you back to that screen, you can go do another health event for this other spouse, put it in there. But for sake of time right here, we're just going to do another one, and we're going to do this as long-term care. So again, we're going to put up here, I put long-term care, Pam. And you can see right here, we're going to go to this long-term care event. It's for Pam. On our team, we like to use age 70, duration 7 years. We use the Pennsylvania state average of 48,000. This is a hotly debated topic among advisors. In some other video, I could talk to you about why we use these assumptions and why I believe these are pretty accurate assumptions. One of the biggest reasons is we're not lowering any expenses. We're adding additional expenses. The length of stay of 7 years. There's a difference between skilled nursing care versus a nursing home versus assisted living. We can go on to a balloon face on all those. But now you have these all built out, and you can easily go in here and implement it. I have another video where I talk about how we use Decision Center and how we present our Decision Center. But the quick version of this is if we go into our base facts here, and we're going to do a Monte Carlo. We like to do Monte Carlo summary, and we say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, you're at 88%. Let's look at some of these other alternative facts. And again, you can just start turning these on. Very quickly show them the effects. I'll do it in any one of these. So that's how we build out some of our most common techniques. I hope you find this valuable. We hope this tip helped educate and empower you to do more plans for your clients so that you can impact more lives through financial planning. If you have some great tips we don't know about, we'd love to hear about them. If you have a better way of doing what we just showed you, we'd love to hear about that, because we are a noble profession, and together we can elevate the profession.